The Flying Fish at Disney's Boardwalk Inn Resort is known for its elaborate seafood and relatively good location between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Today I'm going to give the Flying Fish restaurant a full review from the value, food, service, and atmosphere, and see if it's worth a visit on your next adventure. Let's start first with the value, and Disney gives the Flying Fish a 3 out of a possible $4 symbols, meaning most meals will cost you less than $60 per person. Let's take a closer look at the menu, and oh my gosh, $150 for the ribeye for 2, but everything else is below the $60 price point. When we tried the Flying Fish together, I had the octopus, which sure enough is no longer on the online menu. I find it interesting that the menu keeps changing. You may remember from that adventure, there were items I was looking for in advance and they were nowhere to be found on the menu. Just something that kind of crosses my mind as weird.
And unfortunately, several of the items that are on the menu here actually don't match up with what I have. I think it's because it's a different time of year and they don't have the sustainable fish, the New Zealand salmon, or the filet mignon on this menu.
I do have to admit that the octopus and cobia fish were very good, no doubt about it, but was it worth that price? I don't know if I would get it again. It's not because the food was bad, it was good, it just wasn't my all-time favorite seafood dish, so I ate it and I said to myself, you know what, next time I can go to a different restaurant that has different seafood that I really love. Considering how I felt after I got the bill at Flying Fish, I'm going to give it a 4 out of a possible 10 for value. Now moving on to the food, and although it wasn't the best food in the world, by no means was it bad. One thing I did notice about the food, although it was good, it didn't make me feel like I wanted more of it after I was done. It's not just because I was full from the meal. I've had seafood many times in my life and I felt full and I've loved it so much that I might ask the server, can I get the exact same thing again, this time in a doggy bag, and bring it home and I'll eat it for dinner the next day because I loved it that much. This meal at Flying Fish did not do that for me. Along with that, the fact that the menu keeps changing doesn't exactly fill me with confidence about how guests enjoy the food. I have a feeling like in the future, my rating of the food at Flying Fish will improve, but for today, I'm going to give it a 6 out of a possible 10. Now moving on to the service, and it was fine, but by no means exceptional. It was a very typical service. The server came up to the table, made some recommendations, I ordered something, it took a little bit longer than I expected, and then that was the end of the meal. When it comes to the service at Flying Fish, I'm going to give it a 7 out of a possible 10. It was fine service, it was by no means magical. Last but not least, we come to the atmosphere, and I've got to tell you, I was impressed with the overall look and feel of this restaurant. As you walk along the boardwalk, you can pass right by it and not realize it's even there, but once you go inside, you can see beautiful chandeliers above, cases of wine bottles. It is a really nice theme. The tables were nicely spaced out. It never felt like the servers were hovering over you, but that being said, it wasn't an exceptional theme. It was nice, but wasn't exceptional. I could find something like that in the Washington, D.C. area very easily, so it wasn't really above and beyond, but it was nice. When it comes to the atmosphere and theme, I'm going to give the Flying Fish a 7 out of a possible 10. That gives the Flying Fish an overall score of 6 out of a possible 10. I know it's a relatively low score, especially for a signature service restaurant, but given how I felt after the meal, I think it's a totally fair score. If the management at Flying Fish can simply improve the food just a little bit more, it would not only make me feel like it's a better value, but it would make me feel like I want to go back again soon. Now that's my rating. I would love to hear from you. Is that score too high, too low, or just right? Let me know right there in the poll. And if it's your favorite restaurant and you disagree in full, or you totally agree, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.